Peace, everyone.
Um,
Welcome to the Divine Connection Show, where we want to divinely connect with you. We are your hosts, Jessica.
and Tasia.
All right.
Looks like the sound is good, so we're good to go.
Here. Hear it. Last week, we were on Blog Talk Radio. We were mute the entire time. You can hear it through there? Okay.
That is cool, because you could hear it from there.
Sorry, testing, guys.
You wouldn't hear it from there. You
Oh,
would
yeah,
hear
of course. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Oops. That's noise.
Load it up.
Far away from my arms. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. Anyway, hope everyone's having a good week. My week has been fine. Can't complain. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm most thankful for is the rain because of gardening. So when you become a gardener, you don't take rain for granted. Because for one, you don't have to water your garden because, but it's the season for, like, spring is the season for when you plant, and then it's when your crops need all the water that they can get. And so, Mother Nature is helping us out drastically. It's when you start gardening late, like I did last year, is when it's drier. It was summer. It wasn't too late to start a garden, so don't think that. But I didn't have as much help from Mother Nature, so I made sure I wasn't missing out this year. And so by the time it gets dry and things like that, I will have my harvest and I'll be on to the next, So that's the plan, and I speak that into existence. And yeah, it won't be such a hassle for me to get out there and water the garden and things like that. You still have to check on the soil. You don't want it to get too dry when you're first trying to get your seeds to germinate. So that's me. I'm thankful for the rain. What about you?
Yeah.
How's your week?
It's been all right. Just really been learning more about myself. You never really get, I don't know. It's always a journey for me, at least. I could speak for myself.
Yeah, I think for everyone, though, if they really think about it, it should be. You're always growing, you're always evolving, or you're always going through something. So
yeah, I could honestly say that the person I was last year is different from who I am right now. So it's a good thing to always progress and always change for the better, So when your mindset changes, things change around you and you elevate. So yeah, I can't complain, even though it might be challenging at sometimes. But
growth is challenging, and situations happen to where you're being either pulled to grow or just actually face that challenge or make it through that whatever difficulty you're going through. So
yeah, sometimes you just got to jump right in.
Yep. So
that's how I feel right now.
Well, that's cool. Okay. So we want to say Happy Mother's Day because that's coming up. That's why it was Tasia's idea to come up with playing
Phenomenal Woman
by Maya Angelou, Dr. Maya Angelou.
Doctor.
We want to get that right. So, so Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and whether you are a biological mother or not, Happy Mother's Day, because a lot of people play different roles. We are mothers to people that are not our own. So, or you can be a mother to your pet or your plants. Hey, if you're a natural nurturer, just because you don't have any biological children does not mean you're not motherly or have it in you to be a mother. You can mother in different ways. We all need everybody. So, yeah. So anyway, I'll just talk about some things that came up this week that I just wanted to discuss a little bit. I'm not sure how true this is, but now there's talking about there is a chicken shortage, specifically chicken wings. To me, that's just chicken. We heard about food shortages last year, and I know a lot of people are probably like, "Oh, well, we didn't see that," but I mean, we saw it, but we may not have seen it as drastically as I think doomsday type preppers will make you feel, but it still affects us. And I try to give the example in the beginning of us doing the show before, like when we even had our friend Octavia on, is that or after that, I think, because she had told me a few years ago to stock up on cans and like on canned vegetables and things like that, because farmers didn't get good crops that year. And it's something that didn't affect us right away. It affected us a year or two later. I mean, it was hard to find what you needed, even last year. So it's not a bad idea for you to keep prepping. I mean, especially they're talking about the meat. And then I also came across something that was about the meat in general. So, I mean, if you want to stock up on what you can before they start making all this fake meat. And it's going to be in your big stores. So if you learn how to can yet, if you have not, please do so. Preserve your food. Don't rely on the grocery store for everything. I mean, if you don't have to have a big garden to start gardening. I'm glad I started with the little bit that I started with last year. I couldn't even find any seeds, a variety of seeds. I planted squash, greens, squash, zucchini, some things that I just honestly wasn't going to really eat, especially that squash. I was like, what is this going to be? And I don't mean like, not just any squash. It was a particular squash. Maybe it was a butternut squash. Zucchini and squash are squashes too. So, but anyway, the only thing that came up that year was my greens, and it was a harvest. So I'm glad I started there though, because it prepared me for this year to go bigger, So anyway, it's never too late. Just like my friend said, because last year I was like, Octavia, it's too late to start a garden, because I didn't think about it. And something was calling me to do it, pulling me to doing that. And she was like, no, it's never too late. And I started looking up things. What do you plant in the summertime? And she was telling me, she was like, this is the perfect time for you to start everything I named, So.
Yeah, because in the fall you get your harvest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
You can can all that stuff too.
Yeah, like you really did. Like you actually built your raised bed, and
this year
she put a net over it.
Yep, made a little archway. Now I got that from YouTube. This Melanated Family, what are they called? The Growing Network or something. He has some tips. I was like, I need that net in my life. So I'm glad, because I needed something like ASAP. So I was able to build these arches and put the net over it. My idea, but I had my fiance install the PVC pipes for it, because, hey, he could do it for me.
Yeah, you had the vision and.
But I did do the raised bed by myself, and it was hard work, ladies. Let me tell you. We have to do what we got to do out here. But let me tell you, I was wore out. And the only reason why my fiance didn't help me was because he was working.
Yeah. And I mean, I would have helped you too, but I was working.
You was working. And I'm one of those people, when I want something done, I want it done.
Do it.
Especially when there's a pulling. So there was a whole tug of get this done now. So even going to the store to get all that stuff, get the bricks and the 4x4s. I'm in there like, y'all got this? Y'all got this? They're like, oh, that's a 4x4. I'm like, okay, like whatever fits inside this brick. It was like that. And then I had to haul all of that, including soil, huge bulk size soil. It wasn't fun. I mean, and going back and forth because not knowing what to get
What you
or
needed.
people not knowing what I need, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, some workers just don't know anything at the stores. But anyway, got it done.
Mm-hmm.
Came home. I didn't do it right away because loading the car and unloading it was a piece of work. But then, yeah, so I'm proud that I could say I built my raised bed. But let me tell you something, not too prideful, because had my fiance been able to do it for me or help me, anybody, Tasia, somebody could help me, I would have been happy with that help. But you know, so yeah, the PVC pipes, that's the easy part. The net's the easy part too. So, but anyway.
Yeah, you did a good job. You're doing a good job on that.
I'm trying to be a pro. You just never know when you'll need these skills. So I'm just saying, if you ever have these desires, I mean, you better start somewhere. You can start with your little cups at home and some dirt, plant some seeds, get a little grow kit. We had the grow kits from last year. We had the children do them this year. It gets to a point though, you don't want to do more, bite off more than you can chew, because I had all these little seedlings and they did not survive inside the house. I think I need to get a greenhouse, but like if you start, you'll be able to grow and learn. So I'm learning a lot as well. But I also have a lot of homemade plants. You want to show them that plant? Y'all, we are on YouTube Live if you are on Blog Talk listening to us. This is a small one, but yeah, I have one that's bigger than this. I have actually a couple, but these are from pineapple heads. I call them pineapple heads. But yeah, from the tops of the pineapples. Why is it looking like that? Why is it looking...
Because it's green.
Oh, I'm like, why is it looking pixelated? Anyway, DIY plants. And so I'm not doing any of those this year. I had such a good outcome with growing those pineapple tops. Because I mean, when I found out you can really, I mean, there's life everywhere. You could just, I mean, just because you eat something, I mean, if they have seeds, and it's like a whole plant on top of a pineapple. You just peel that thing back, put it in some dirt, water it from the top, from into the middle. Oh, wow. I had so many. I was thinking, like, I can sell these after a while. They were doing so good.
You did have quite a few. I'm like, what is she doing? I did not know what you were doing. I didn't see what you were trying to do. But
yeah,
now...
I was like, oh, these are going to... But the only thing, I haven't been successful with some things. Like, I'm trying to do the lemon. And then when it comes to the doggone avocado seeds, I cannot get those to germinate. Mm-hmm. Well, I could not. I'm speaking differently. Because I did finally find a root in one of them. And I was just preserving them by holding them in water. And then I was like, let me prepare these the way I should. Wrap them up in some paper towels. And then I come across one that had a root. I was so ecstatic about it. And I was just like, oh, let me help it out and peel back some of the skin off of the seed. And then the thing split. Not the root, but the seed, like a piece of it came off that was in between the roots. So I was sorry. I could cry. Like, that's how bad. I was like, dang, I finally get a root. And so I still planted it anyway. I put it together and planted it. Hopefully it becomes a plant. I really want an avocado plant. But I'm not going to do any more pineapple plants this year. Although I did have them outside first, just on our gazebo shelf. And I'm proud of that. That was crazy. I didn't know it would be so great because I had so many of them. So now I'm like, oh no, we can't do it this year. Maybe I'll start them for people like my mom and then, give them away quicker, sooner than they become, bigger. They're easy. They're low maintenance. You know how like a peace lily doesn't need much. Pineapple plants don't need much either, and they don't need a lot of water. So just in case you want to do a little DIY, I call them DIY plants. Never heard anybody say that, but literally it's a DIY. So if you want some greenery, I wanted some greenery in the house, and I got it. Plus some. So, yeah. Anyway, that was a lot. I was just talking.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's not on the agenda. But so yeah, back to the schedule. I kind of want to. I don't know if you guys listen to or know who Celeste Solom is, but look her up. Look her up on YouTube. Watch some of her videos. She has a website too. I don't know it off the top of my head. Go to her YouTube page, Celeste Solom with a C. And she talked today. She put a video out about editing food editing. So she pulls up articles and things like that of what's happening today and things that we do not read on a day to day. And she brings them to the forefront for us and tries to make you aware of what's going on outside of what our norm. Like, look for keywords on your ingredient packages, on the list of your food packaging, I should say. And what got me was like she said, like because of what's going on for the pandemic, they're going to enrich our food. She didn't say that word, but basically enhance our food with it's called biofortification. So they're going to biofortify a lot different foods. So I don't know. I'll have to look into it some more. If I find some things, I'll try to remember to come back here and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But for specific key food items. But yeah, so they're going to biofortify with different vitamins and minerals. So particularly vitamin C, vitamin D, and selenium. And what that's going to do is it's going to supposed to help us in what we lack, but it's going to raise the cost of your food.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, probably drastically, because it's going to say, "Oh, this is it's your innovative tomato.
Mm-hmm.
This is your packet of enhanced tomatoes," and therefore, what you used to pay $3 for, I don't know, maybe $12. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever it is.
I don't know that much, but I just want you guys to look into that. And if you're interested in what's going on with your food, yeah.
Yeah, and another thing that she had mentioned in that video, she was saying, once all this started happening, they did not advise us. There wasn't many people advising us to take our vitamins, the vitamin C that we need, the vitamin D, like the elderberry and these things.
We were trying to tell you.
Yeah, we were trying to tell you guys, but
yeah, it wasn't mainstream media. I'm sorry, mainstream media wasn't.
Yeah. That's a better
putting
way
it
of
out
saying
there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just a setup to have these edited foods.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of scary to me. I'll be very cautious with.
I mean, it goes to show.
That
But the thing is, here's the big thing: the restaurants buy this stuff. You don't know what's in your food.
You don't.
So it's already in it. But the thing is, people are for it. I'm telling you, people are for GMOs. People are for. They will be for this. They'll be like, "Oh shoot, that's that enhanced apple. Let me buy that instead."
Mm-hmm.
Our thing is, you can
who
get
knows?
that.
They might make it taste better. I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, they make some apples taste better. They inject it with the stuff that tastes like cotton candy and grapes.
You're right.
Artificially flavored.
You're
grape.
right.
So, I mean, my thing is, we get the stuff from fruits and vegetables anyway, and we should be eating better. We're not always eating better, but if you're taking the supplements, that's fine. It's just kind of weird to enhance it. And then, where is the source of these vitamins and minerals? I mean, I'm not saying whatever. Do what you want to do. Like I said, people are for GMO foods because they're like, we wouldn't have enough to populate the world. Well, we wouldn't have enough food for the population. And I mean, that wouldn't be true. Just have more farms. I mean, y'all taking over the farms. People's farms are shutting down. So, I mean, whatever. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe people see the good in it. I know people that see the good in the GMO stuff. Believe me or not. But, in this enhanced foods, it's like, okay, so people are going to be for that as well. So I just want you to know that that's what's going on. And if you're for that, be for it. If not, I mean, I mean, I didn't ask you to enrich it in any way. I just want it to be natural. The vitamin C, if it's in the kale or in the orange, I want it to just be in the orange for the amount that's already in there by nature. I don't want anything enhanced because I don't know what you're using with it. So that's me personally. And then I take my vitamin C and my vitamin D regularly. That's another thing. I take that stuff regularly because we are melanated people. We already know we're vitamin D deficient, and without a lot going on outside last year, we missed a lot. We missed out on a lot.
Yeah.
If you didn't make time to be in the sun. I mean, we're in the sun. We're not in the sun enough. So I try to at least go out there and let the sun touch me, from day to day. But technically, we should be basking in it for at least 20 minutes, no less.
Yeah, and I never have been this intentional about making sure sunlight hits my skin, and even when I wake up in the morning and the sun beams on my face, it's just this radiation, this feeling that you have, like an energized feeling. So I am getting something from it, and I never thought about it before until I don't want to say I'm lacking it until
you were learning more, so you transitioned into caring about your vitamins and minerals. Yeah. So. Plus, we learned that, they were saying that if you were vitamin D deficient, it was harder for you to even combat the virus in general. So why not try to take a supplement? Actually, I think we need a lot more. Like, if you get your levels checked, and find out how much you actually need, because we're lacking. And that is where they're winning. They know. People don't think about it because why? We're walking regular. We don't see anything wrong with us. But because we don't see it doesn't mean that there's nothing wrong with us. To be deficient is not good. And, I spoke on that before about like the symptoms and things like that. So even in the beginning of the pandemic, I mean, I was having horrible back pain, and it wasn't from anything in particular. And then I read that was one of the side effects from being vitamin D deficient. So I started taking it religiously, and believe it or not, that week I felt better within a couple of days even. So I was like, really? Was that really because of that? You know what I mean? But you never know. I mean, we are made to be in alignment. Like, we're supposed to have a certain amount, and everybody's different. It's not like, oh, the scale said you're supposed to be above 6 on here. Maybe not for you, maybe not for me, but but for majority of us melanated people, we need vitamin D. So yeah, let's be intentional about that. But yeah, so that's what I have on that. I just want you guys to look into it some more. It's a lot going on, and but not to instill any fear or anything like that. Just let's be more proactive and just come up with solutions.
Right.
I mean, this is all I can do is what my hands can do right now. I wish I had known more before. I wish I would have been better prepared for this transition. This type of stuff has been out here. This type of thing has been in the works for a while, like the whole strategy of it all. And it's a domino effect. Like, okay, now you should hear her talk about the companies that are over this whole project. So it's just like, wow, it's just everything works together. So yeah. But we wanted to talk a little bit more about what'd you say? Piggyback on?
Yeah, last week just a little bit.
And I apologize, sorry, real quick, for anybody that was on last week. We were on YouTube Live, and we forgot to unmute ourselves off of Blog Talk Radio. So we apologize for that. I mean, the show is over, and I saw that it was muted the whole time.
But we had another platform though. But we uploaded the show, so
we did. If you want
to listen to it, you can go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
Blog Talk.
That's what happened there, and that's why we wish like somebody would tell us. Like, we check in or type it in the chat or something that you can't hear anything.
That'd be helpful. But yeah, so I'm thinking about what we talked about last weekend about kingdom and kings and queens and the duties and what we have to do. What are some characteristics? And one big part of that is leadership. And a lot of times you might see different types of leaders, and it's important not to fall into I don't want to say a trap, but to recognize what type of leader are in front of these platforms. And so as far as leadership, leaders should inspire you. They should be motivation to you. And you should be able to clearly see what they're trying to do, where they're moving, what their purposes are. And as far as in the kingdom, the king takes care of his people. The kingdom is only as strong as the leader is, and only as strong as the people. And if the king is prospering, the people should as well.
That would be nice.
If you're a good leader, you should be able to teach people how to reproduce what you have already done. So, and that would expand your kingdom as well. And as a leader, you don't always have to have a title or be in a certain position. As a leader, you can lead yourself. First, you got to lead yourself, and you have to be disciplined in that aspect. And being a leader, one of the main qualities that you should be able to inspire people. So when you are talking to somebody, you got to make sure that you are leaving them with something of value. When you have a conversation with somebody and you leave them and they're feeling drained, then that's not leadership. I know sometimes leaders, these aren't the kind of leaders that you want to follow, but they might try to manipulate or try to use fear to get you to follow them or to do what they want you to do to follow you. So that would be the opposite of inspiring and motivating. So I know, are there like some examples that you could come up with, or no?
I have examples like curses and tithing. There's all type of. That's the first thing that comes to my mind is leadership. I don't know. That's a little touchy.
Like you can even use like with use like Hitler. Okay, he used fear into people to get them to do what he wanted them to do.
Right.
You could use that example. But
that's still manipulating.
Manipulation. So there are ways, but it's you, as far as being a leader, you have to make sure that your vision is clear. Just like when you were doing with your garden. You can use that example because you knew what you wanted, you could see it, but I didn't understand what you were saying. You want to get a net and stuff, but you made it clear and you gave the necessary steps to make that happen. So
actually, and then it's funny because I did delegate. I sent the instructions over to my fiance, and he went and got the things for me this time.
Yeah, so even with
As far
simple
as the second project of it, the garden. Yep.
simple things like that, it shows
And
leadership.
then we came together, and now it's a success.
Yeah.
Even something as small as that, as an example. I think when we think of leadership, we think of grand. Like, what is it? From presidents to, what do you call those mega church leaders? Kings and queens. I mean, half the time the kings and queens aren't running it themselves. So it really takes, I mean, they
That's
say
where
it takes a village, but it really takes multiple people, multiple levels, whatever's from the head is supposed to come down. But sometimes, I mean, it's the people on the bottom that are making it all work. So I guess character, the character,
character
that
is
you
a
have.
big part. Yeah, character. You see somebody with jacked up character, you ain't gonna want to follow them. You know, they have to have that integrity about them and
make things happen.
The confidence in what they're doing and knowing that they know what they're doing to lead other people. Because
yeah, and be sure, like,
yeah,
just
because if you're unsure,
sure. Yeah, so if you call yourself a king or a queen, you got to think about that things. Are you think about those things? Are you consistent in certain areas? I know for me, I mean, I may have completed a few things, but there are things I have not completed, and I'm looking at myself like, there you go, starting something, not finishing it, you know. And I know that's something I have to work on.
But yeah, that's very important as far as actively being active, more active in.
Yeah.
Because in order to be a leader, people see what you're doing. They watch you for a while before they lead you. Before they follow you.
Yeah.
They got to know what the person is, and are they going to do what they say they're going to do, or are they true to their word? So, and then that's how I was in, because I played basketball for a lot of years, and I was more of a lead by example leader. So,
okay,
you have to do what you talk. Like, you have to be about what you talk about.
So you have to walk the walk.
Walk the walk. If you want to talk the talk, walk the walk.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds good.
Yeah, just a little tidbit on that, because that's a big part of it. And it, there's multiple books. People talk about leadership, but when it comes down to it, you have to be able to inspire the people that is around you.
And I guess, does good leadership mean you have numbers? What does this mean? I think good leadership would mean success rate. So everybody's success looks different, right? So if you had a team of people that you wanted to help, build your garage or something like that, and you guys accomplish, you get the team, you have the plan, you have the plan that includes budget and everything, and then if you guys pull it together, that was a successful, accomplishment. So that's success right there. And if it was only 3 people, that's it. But also, like, think of it as, I mean, do things fall through? I know somebody that couldn't finish projects, and I mean major projects, like on homes. So they lack, I mean, now that I think about it, looking at their life, they lack a lot of leadership qualities, even in their household. The guy ended up losing his family too. But it starts within you. And technically it starts at home. So home had all these incomplete projects. I mean, for real. And it shouldn't. It was a nice home. And I mean, but he was handy. He was crafty. But like I said, all the way to the point where, like, now he doesn't even have his family. So that says a lot too about him. So he was lacking some of those traits that you were talking about. So it's just, I mean, still, I mean, I guess what are you a king in your own right? But like we said, we wanted to, like last week was more so like, are you really a king or queen? Like, what makes someone a king or queen? And we were talking about literally, but yeah, natural born, your star seed, or you're a king or a queen, and you need to find your way. So for him, there's room to grow. All of us,
Yes,
have room to grow. So
and as we're teaching, I'm teaching myself too. So
yeah, I mean, you got to evaluate yourself. I mean, all this stuff. It's like aha moments. Like, yeah, you know what? And then it's okay to give yourself props in whatever you were good at or are good at. Because you said you're what? What did you say? You are a what kind of leader?
I think I said example or what? I don't know.
Shoot, you were a action kind of leader. Well, whatever. I don't even know anymore what I was trying to say because I was really trying to think of what you said. But yeah, so there's
I
people
had it
like
in the
that.
moment.
You have it in you, and you were that, and that's good. It's good to know that about yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we can't do it all either. If you're trying to run something bigger, just know. I think that's a part of leadership too. Is being a good leader is getting someone to do what you cannot do.
The right
it's okay to call for help. I mean, I think people get this arrogance about themselves that want to do everything by themselves, including all of us have it to an extent. Nope, I want nobody to say I had help on this. No, or okay, I could do this website by myself. No, I want to be able to say I do it myself. When really you needed help because it took you a year or 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know. It takes, I don't know, that pride that can really that can get in your way of success.
And it's about pride and distrust. Can't trust nobody.
Okay, so that's another inner issue.
Yeah.
What is the root of that? Why do you have trust issues? Get to the root, heal it, and then move on, grow. That's part of your character evaluation. You got to know some things about yourself, and you can't be ashamed to know it about yourself. You have to forgive whatever it is, forgive yourself, forgive the situation, and move forward so you can be better. I think we all have to do that.
Yeah. Sometimes it don't feel good, but
nope. Growing does not feel good. Pruning, growing, purging, groaning either. But yeah, it doesn't always feel good. But you got to go through it. I mean, what else you want to do? I know. I was thinking of something. I was like, should I talk about it on the place? Something that I saw you grow in this week was when you had a conversation with
my dad.
Yes. She just had a conversation, and usually she's good at avoiding things.
Yeah, I don't like confronting people, situations. I am.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna say that. In the past,
right.
I would avoid situations I didn't want to confront.
To avoid conflict. And I kind of had to give her a little pep talk. Well, I also told her that leadership isn't always nice. This is why, whatever. This doesn't have to do with that. I wasn't being mean, but I wanted to get to that point that we didn't talk about earlier. But leadership is not always nice and what you want to hear sometimes for it to help you to grow. But one thing about me is sometimes I can identify things in people, and with her, it wasn't so much, oh, you're always avoiding. It was, I had to give her the perspective from the recipient. I'm like, it may not be as bad as you think. but you have to do it because this is a pattern. So you can't go through life doing this, because what happens, it's a domino effect. It's going to affect you here, here, and here because you didn't want to stop it in the beginning. So I guess that's what clicked in her mind, and she did what she had to do. And then what?
Everything was fine.
Everything was fine.
It wasn't as bad as I thought.
Not at all.
Sometimes, I don't want to say because of
thinking the worst.
Because of experiences I had in the past,
Mm-hmm.
where it made me afraid to confront, So just letting go of that and just like, okay, I'm just going to take it, whatever it is, because drawing it out.
That's trauma, and in a sense, and then you have to heal that, or pluck it, like identify it when you see it rise again. Because sometimes we don't even know. Things are such habits, we don't even realize we're doing it again when we're doing it.
Yeah, because they're so programmed, they're so embedded inside of our being that we don't even notice.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and then the discernment comes in. Not everything needs to be confronted. Mm-hmm. Not every single thing, because then that could be a whole nother problem. There's a season, there's a time for everything. A time to be silent, and a time to speak. Mm-hmm. A time to be angry. It's a time for all of that. So, I mean, not just like go out here and start confronting everybody for every little thing. Like, no, but when needed. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes you have to avoid. I mean, for whatever reason, I don't know, but I can't think of any right now. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's where you say discernment and wisdom. Wisdom comes in. So,
yeah. I guess that's about it for me on the whole subject. Unless you had something. Do you have some more?
Nah, I was just.
No, you said nah like you wasn't finished. Don't let me stop you.
No, for real.
Okay.
That's okay.
Cause I'm like, you said nah, like, cause I'm done with that subject. I just felt like I was rambling, so I didn't let me stop. So okay,
you're good.
So yeah, well, are we gonna play? You can do the announcements. Where we're gonna play Maya again.
Yeah. So we have a lineup. True Tuesdays with Akeem L at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, and then Beth 7 p.m. on Sundays with Independent Thinkers and us
every Thursday at 7. But yeah, check out things we have on our website at jtmuse.com, jtmuse.com. We were talking about prepping and things like that. You may want to take a look at our ebook on there, and get a remedy from other issues you may be going through, or you may want to combat, like third-party debt or vaccination exemptions, or credit repair bundles, passport process as a national.
We got tons of things on there. Just go ahead and check it out.
Check it out. Why did you wear your hat? Crown Shields with a Z. Anyway, we got to get that together. But yeah, so peace to everybody.
Happy Mother's Day to the
Happy Mother's Day. We'll play some Dr. Maya for y'all on Blog Talk Radio. Those of you on YouTube, you could just play it from YouTube. Peace, everyone.
Peace.